equality and empower women.
Yes.
Last night I went past a building here in Canberra which said on the door, Ors 8. Ors 8. And I wonder, well, you have been for 11 years in opposition. You have had time or opportunity to create a policy to get this particular Millennium development goal into order. That means, are you prepared now to tell OSAID to submit a certain percentage of their OSAID to all sorts of nations, particularly in Timor, because I seem to be the population is out of control in Timor, which is a very poor country to begin with, that they are giving a certain percentage of OSAID to family planning efforts. Thank you.
We're certainly committed to the achievement of Millennium Development Goal number 3, and I tried to make that clear in my remarks. The restructuring of the AusAid budget is a task primarily that I'll undertake in the next financial year, because in this budget our primary task is implementation of our election commitments, and we are focusing on getting some of those, or all of those, into this budget. But I am then going to have a look at the overall weight in the various major elements of the budget. I don't intend to become a sort of micromanager about where each dollar goes, but I want to get the big building blocks of the budget organised, and they'll be being one of the structural elements will be how the expenditure relates to the Millennium Development Goals, including number 3, and I am certainly in support of the Australian Government providing assistance to family planning activities. There's some part of that that I'm not yet free to talk about, because it's under consideration inside the government. But broadly, irrespective of those particular guidelines, I am sympathetic to the idea that we need to do more about giving women power over their lives. I made a speech only a week or two ago in the Parliament building, not literally in the Parliament, launching a program with the Australian Reproductive Health Alliance and Mari Stopes and others about family planning support for women in post-emergency situations. Even though it was actually, I thought, a very modest speech that didn't go to any of the controversial questions. I've been flooded with emails from people organised by the Right to Life who are understandably suspicious of me, and so they've started to inundate me with emails, which is keeping AusAid very busy but not changing my mind.
Jenny Goldie. Bob, I'm taking the next question. Congratulations on that last initiative that you and AusAid have taken. It's very valuable. Just further to the question down here, the Bangkok statement, which came out of our parliamentary conference from November 2006, called on governments to increase the proportion of sexual and reproductive health funding up to 10% from the 4% that was recommended at ICPD, the International Conference on Population and Development from Cairo in 1994. Because of the shortfall in funding that's occurred since 1994, the Bangkok Declaration calls on that proportion of overseas funding to be lifted to 10%. Now, are you not going to comment on that? Or could we have some kind of commitment that, the Bangkok Declaration will be heard?
Yep. If we met all the demands we have for what percentage of the budget should be, the aid budget should be applied in particular areas, we'd have to have we'd have to spend 200% of the budget. But well, we are going to double it, but the percentage conundrum doesn't change just by making the program bigger. But we are. I don't expect that we will increase it to 10%. I think that's highly improbable, but I expect the percentage to increase.
Maggie Kenyon, Sexual Health Family Planning Australia. Just a question, Bob, on the figures. I've got some figures here from AusAid's reproductive health programs, and we asked AusAid, how much are you spending? They said, we spent $6 million on reproductive health last year. Now, I can only account for 70,000 of that. And I think Marie Stopes took another 100,000. So I think out of that $6 million, only 200,000 really went to family planning, and I think AIDS got an awful lot. You know, I think about 97%. So it would be really helpful with our budget if you could disaggregate the figures for family planning and for AIDS, and then you'd get a true figure of what is really happening with family planning. It's going backwards, and it's been going backwards for a long time, and AusAid has been giving money to family planning organisations overseas instead of supporting Australian family organisations. And Australia has a lot to offer, but we're not getting the help from the previous government. Thank you very much.
I haven't seen that data. I'd be surprised if that figure encompassed all that we're doing on AIDS. I think that would be more than the amount of money you just spoke about. But I'll endeavour to get, at least for myself, some more data on what's happening, a breakdown on what's happening with regard to family planning expenditure, because I don't actually know the answer. I've seen the broad macro figures you're talking about, but I haven't seen it broken down into smaller elements. I'm not... well, I think I can get it. I mean, I know I can get it, but it just depends how much extra work it's going to cause, because I've got people rather busy doing some other things to do with the budget, which I want them to do. But if I reasonably can, I will get access to that data, and unless it's in some way confidential for reasons I can't imagine, I'll be happy to make it available. I don't know the answer at the moment.